What led up to Juliet Holness and her business partner Andrew Holness to exchange strong language in a parliament? Did two matey past and present stress Har out? Take a look.
Madam Speaker, this program did not happen by chance. The $150 million loan approved in December was critical in accelerating recovery and avoiding a scenario where restoration could have stretched into late 2026 or even early 2027. Madam Speaker, there has been a lot of flip-flops surrounding the speed and accountability. I went back to the Hansard to remind this Honourable House of what the leader of the opposition said in November 2025 in regards to the JPS loan. Here is what he said from Hansard. I would like your assurance, Minister, that the $200 million will be coughed up by JPS, perhaps by its two large overseas shareholders, Maribor and East West Power, Korean government, South Korean government, own large utility, or JPS is going to draw down on whatever funding it can raise from its creditors. I don't know how they plan to fund it, but we need to know it's funded before we put in our $150 million in. Madam Speaker, he went on to state that it's a risk we are not prepared to take as a country. Thankfully, Madam Speaker, the results of September 3rd installed a government that knows how to dance in the rain. A government capable of assessing risk and responsibility. Those are his words, Madam Speaker. The other member of the opposition, including the member from St. Catherine Southeastern, in a statement filled with more flaws than ours, said we should measure opportunity cost of fast-tracking the restoration by providing a loan to the JPS.
Minister, hold a moment, please. Leader of the opposition, quick question. Are you standing on a point of order?
Opposition Leader Mark Golding stands up to check Daryl Vaz and set the record straight. But first, the Jezebel of the House has something to say.
All right. Opposition Leader, you know our practice in respect of point of order. I am going to allow you to go ahead. I'm going to recirculate what really is a point of order. Opposition Leader, I am sure you appreciate with the discipline that we would like to instill going forward from both sides of the House, that between points of order and what we normally treat as a point, I can actually have this discussion when somebody on the government side rise to their feet. You know, it really doesn't matter who is on their feet. So it has nothing to do with the opposition leader. All right? It is a general statement for us in the Parliament. So a lot of what we call point of orders are actually interruptions because of other reasons, clarification, disagreement. Points of orders are not to be used in that way. And therefore, when you stand on the basis that we usually use, it is only if the member chooses to sit and allow you to continue that you continue. It is not the Speaker, Opposition Leader, it is not the Speaker who gives you the authority to do so. Only on genuine points of order does the Speaker or the Chair gives authority. And for those who are grumbling in the House who refuse to learn, for those grumbling in the House who refuse to learn, I have no challenge because I will continue to apply the rules and the standing orders. So, thanks for your patience, Opposition Leader. Go ahead.
Mark Golding gives Daryl Vaz the 1-2 punch.
Yes, thank you. Madam Speaker, I rise on a point of order. The Minister has selectively quoted an excerpt from Hansard, which to make a point, which is misleading the House. Those comments that I made were in the context of his own representation to the House, that the necessary financing to fix the problems that the hurricane had caused on the grid was $350 million US. And my point simply was, if it's $350 million US, how are you going to finance that? To draw down on a portion of it, which was inadequate to do the job, was imprudent. That's the point I made. And to put it in any other way is misleading the House.
Clock.
Your mic was not on, Minister. Hold on a moment.
The Crime Minister gets in-tied with his wife and Speaker of the House, while the two mateys, past and present, looks on.
Minister.
This is a point of order on which I rise. If the member will yield. Madam Speaker, the Leader of the Opposition rose on a point of order. What is your ruling, Madam Speaker?
Well, you know already, Prime Minister, this is not a point of order.
What order of the House of debate was breached?
No.
If the Leader of the Opposition continues
the House is not a point of order.
The point of order to disrupt debates, Madam Speaker, that is an abuse of the rules of the House. So, Madam Speaker, I ask you to rule on whether or not the point raised by the Leader of the Opposition breached any rules of debate in the House.
No, it does not, Prime Minister. So members who are grumbling prior, the reason I made sure to state this is exactly that.
Comment, like, share, subscribe,